Hello, Shanna Bauman, team leader with Usborne Books and More, and I wanted to talk to you about booths, the who, what, when, where, why, and how of booths. I just gave a presentation at the Atlanta Regional and wanted to duplicate that for my team. So who can do a booth? Any consultant can do a booth. Now, I must clarify that we do have booth policies. It is very important to read the booth policies, be in the know about that policy, and then to obey and follow the booth policy guidelines. So the first is that to do a booth at a school that benefits a school in any way, you must be an educational consultant and have that school as your listed school. If you are not an education consultant and you are not representing that school, that is not one of your listed schools, you are not allowed to do a craft fair or holiday market or anything that that school might have. So make sure you understand that policy. And then there's also a radius around you, some policies about how far you can travel for booths. There are policies in place about the time frame before you can book a booth, but most importantly, be sure to ask that event coordinator if they already have an Usborne Books and More consultant that does their events or did this same event last year. That is key. We are all here to further promote literacy, and so we're not here to take over somebody's booth for them. So just be kind and know the booth policy. Talk to your team leader, your sponsor, your director if you need some more guidance on that. So we won't spend a lot of time on policies. Those things are out there. They're in your consultant guide, some information's in your back office, and home office is even updating us a lot when booth policies change. So just be sure that you are in the know about the policy and that you are obeying the policy. So who can do a booth? Anybody can, okay? And then how do you go about finding booths? What is a booth? How do I do this? I get that question a lot from my team. And so what is a booth? It is an opportunity for you to set up books. I usually do inventory, but you can also do order only. You would then just need to decide how you're going to deliver the books once you get them all into you. Because you're not, I guess you could ship to them, but in most cases, I do inventory at all of my booths. Most people like that cash and carry option, and so I do inventory. But you can certainly do order only. So I say get creative with where you could do a booth. There's strawberry festivals, there's farmers markets, there's craft fairs, there are balloon festivals, Thomas the Train, go to a local garden, a conservatory, any place where families and kids are gonna be, that's a prime spot for us. So just be creative. And one tip I have for finding those events is to look on your Chamber of Commerce and your Visitors Bureau. They will list, their websites will list things happening in your town. So go to those places and search for events. There's also, it's also been very helpful to network. I am in some different Facebook groups for my town where event coordinators can post their events on that page, and direct sellers are going crazy trying to get those events. So it's great for me to be in the know and be in those Facebook groups. But I will also say that getting to know other people in direct sales will be beneficial. I am in a group of women helping women, and all different direct sales companies are represented, and we meet once a month to just brainstorm, tell each other about our products, and I ask them, what booths do you do? Have you seen an Usborne Books and More rep there? And then I try to go to those same events as them, because it's fun to also know some of the other vendors at your events. So I network with other direct sales people to try to get booth leads. And then oftentimes my booths lead to more booths. I've had people stop in my booth and say, hey, I'm going to this event. Are you going to be there? And maybe it's an event I've never heard of. Or sometimes I've had people walk in my booth and say they're the coordinator for another event coming up and would I come to their event. Sure. So booths often lead to more booths. So get creative, find those events in your area, and even if it's something you think is a little off the wall, I don't know if that would fit. Maybe do some brainstorming with your team. What would be some good books to take there? And if you can come up with a good list, I say go for it. Consider the cost, but go for it. So who can do a booth? What is a booth? How do you find those booths? And where do you look for them? I have just covered. So why you should do booths. I like to do booths, for one, because it supplements my income and sales when I don't have a lot of parties booked. I may only have just a handful of parties, or I'm really struggling getting bookings. And so those booths are a great way to bring in income when parties are kind of slow. But I also do booths because I love to meet people in the community. I love to talk with them, give them my business card, and that's a great way for me to get party leads and even get some new recruits. People have walked into my booth and instantly they see my banners, they see my signs, they see my booking tree, and they say, "You do parties? I want to do a party. Yes, I love all these. I want to do a party." And so it's led to that. And I've even had people walk into my booth, 2 or 3 people, and say, "How did you get into this?" And it just opens the door for me to spread my why, tell people about this company, and then talk to them about joining. So my booths have definitely brought me parties and recruits. And one tip that I have for you in terms of recruiting, I often do booths by myself, which is rather lonely on those long events. So I've started trying to get a consultant maybe to do it with me, but even more importantly than that, I like to get a friend who lives local to me, that's bought books from me, hosted a party, I know loves these books, and I will ask them to work the booth with me, and I'll give them free books for doing that. And while we are in that booth, and I know they're sharing about these, they're helping customers, and I'll plant those seeds to them right there. You could do this too. Have you ever thought about this? Clearly you like these books, and clearly you like talking to people. Would you ever want to do this? Like, you could do some booths that I can't do. We can split up the booths in our town. And it's a great way to get your friends to see books they've not seen before, but also to plant that seed in their head to join your team. So get creative with where you find booths and then how you get help in that booth. Okay, and then how do I go about setting up my booth? I like to have the supplies that home office provides us. I like the colorful tablecloths and the table runners, those white things that go across. I think they're actually called something else in our back office, but I like to have those things. So I bring my own tables, and I have the tablecloths. I have some of the brown cardstock, kind of like the cardboard displays. You can also get racks and stuff from home office. They provide us with a lot of tools. I like to have those things because I really want my booth to be professional. I don't do flashing lights and marquees. Nothing like that. No huge posters. I don't do things like that. But I do want it to look professional. I want them to know this is a legitimate company. And so I have an Usborne banner, book racks. I have little colorful containers that I might get at Walmart or dollar store or something. You can find fun little crates and things just to make your booth even more colorful, which is an investment up front, no doubt. But if you plan to do a lot of events or even preschool book fairs, because a lot of these things are going to go over to your book fair, you're going to do a lot of the same setup there. So it might be worth your investment. It has definitely paid off for mine. And as a team leader, I'm able to share those supplies with my team, and they know they can come to me, ask to borrow my tablecloths and things. So it's given them an opportunity to do a booth that they may not have otherwise because they didn't want to invest in all those supplies. So I certainly like my setup to be nice. When I go into a booth, I like to wear, if possible, a Usborne logo shirt or something. Just once again, show people Usborne. We've got all kinds of fun t-shirts, clothes you can get at the Moore store, at convention. That's a great reason to go to convention, is to get that logo wear that you can't get other places. So I like to wear that branded gear and a name tag because I want them to know my name when they walk in my booth. And so I put the whole package together and make it look professional. I'm representing Usborne when I go to this booth. And so I want people to walk away not only loving our books, but loving our company and what they saw in me. And so certainly think about your display when you're getting ready to do your booth. You might want some signs. You might want to get some, I just use plastic acrylic sign holders. You can get them at office stores, Walmart, but I make up some really colorful signs with our logo and our branded colors. I offer them a chance to win free books. Like I said, I have a booking tree that helps me get bookings, and I give away a free book, our $4.99 hardbacks, when they set their party day right there. So lots of things happening in my booth. I want it to be fun and engaging, and our books alone are a reason to stop. Most people will stop and look at the colorful things in our booth. And then some other tips. I just want to stress to you that booths may not be for everybody. So if you don't do booths, or you haven't done a booth yet, or you're thinking, I could never do that, I couldn't stand there and talk to people all day, that is okay. The beauty of Usborne is that we have so many ways to do this business. We've heard about Cards for a Cause. We've heard about story times. We've heard about book fairs and school and library and Facebook parties and home parties, and now booths. There are so many ways to work this business. So if booths kind of scare you, that's okay. Just rock it in other areas. But if booths are something that really excite you and you get energy from meeting people, I know of people on my team are very successful with their business by doing booths. So jump in if you can, but just consider the cost. Booths, you do make less commission, but you can get some free books for it. It is time away from your family. I try not to do too many booths because a lot of times they're on Friday nights or Saturdays, and that means I am missing soccer games, different things, performances and things my kids might have. So I have an agreement with my husband on how many booths I might do, and we pick our weekends wisely. And so maybe that means I miss out on some, but that's what works for my family. And my husband gets excited when we set goals for the booth. So set a goal of how much sales you want, how many people you want to book a party, how many people you want to share this business with, and set those goals even with your husband to get him excited about you going to that booth. And when I have found when I set goals for my booth, I'm much more motivated in my booth. I don't hound people when they come in. I am not a used car salesman in my booths. I ask some questions. If they have heard of Usborne, maybe the ages of their kids they're shopping for, if I can make any recommendations, but then I kind of leave them alone for a little bit and check in with them. So I certainly am not hounding them just to meet that goal that I set, but it helps me as a goal-driven orange to just focus on that booth and what I want to get out of it. So first and foremost, understand the booth policies and please obey them. I don't want to steal your booths, and I don't want you stealing mine. So just be sure that you know those policies and you're obeying them. And then remember the how, what, when, where, why, and some of my tips. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I am more than welcome to share some of my signs and any more tips and answer any questions you might have. Thank you.